Hello, this is Katie. Welcome back to my channel. This is day 22 of a video every day in May. I'm going to be making 3 cards. I'm using the Spiffy Speckles pattern paper from Fawn. I am matching up a green, blue, and purple with the purple on purple with the purple on white, and same with the green and blue. I already pre-cut some of these using my stitched rectangle dies from Lil Inker Designs. I'm going to be using the largest rectangle, which just cuts the stitches into a card-sized piece of paper. So I'm just going to pause while I run those through my die cutter. So I'm showing you, I just have the stitches in the cards that I already cut to 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. I'm going to be using the Say What Pets set from Fawn. And I'm going to be doing something that I haven't used before towards the end of the video, and we will talk about that when we get there. So now I'm just sticking down the purple on white, the blue on white, and the green on white to the card bases, and then I had thought about lifting these up, but because of what I'm doing towards the end, I'm going to just stick them down to the card base, and then the white stitched rectangle as well. So there won't be any dimension, or any at least foam tape dimension on those parts. So I'm just doing the same process for the next ones. My tape gun, I think I show you this too, but it got some tape gunk kind of stuck in the runner underneath the tape, so I end up pulling it out. But it's just kind of misbehaving. Sometimes I get a bad roll, but it doesn't happen every roll, so I still like this tape runner, but when that happens, it's just annoying to fix. So I'm trying to get the gunk off my hands, and then I decide to use my Gina K Designs dot runner that I have to refill. So I grabbed a refill for it and put that in, and then I just use that for the remainder. And then I put my tape gun away. So then I am just putting together the third card base and aligning that along the spine to make sure that it lines up properly on the card base. And then sticking down the green on green. I think this might be my favorite paper pack from Fawn, is Spiffy Speckles. Probably proven by the fact that I own 6 or more of the pads. I just kept buying them because I knew I was going to want more and more forever. So now I am coloring. I've zoomed in for you. I'm coloring in the animals that I have stamped beforehand. I also stamped the talkie bubbles, and then I chose the sentiments to stamp inside the talkie bubbles. I didn't want to waste time on film just stamping those. I figured coloring was more beneficial. I end up actually re-stamping and coloring the bird again because I did not like what I ended up doing to the stand. The stand that he's on, I used 2 browns that blend a little too closely, so it didn't look like there was any blending going on. And then these dots, I grabbed BG49, and I just added dots that, I don't know, made him look diseased or something. I don't know what I was thinking. So I didn't like the way he turned out eventually, so I do stamp and recolor him for you on camera. I use E37 and then E99, and they just ended up blending too well, a little too closely to each other, so he just didn't look like he had any blending going on whatsoever. But that's fine, and then I give everyone cheeks with white dots from my gel pen. So I cut him out because I don't want to smear for now, because I didn't realize I wanted to recolor him yet. I'm cutting him out and setting him aside because I don't want to smear like the white pen or anything that I've done on him yet. But my cat and my dog, I really like how they turned out the first time with the colors that I chose. So I started to go, my darkest was YR16. I'm pretty sure that was the color. Then Y38. And then I believe I go in with Y17, and that's an orange combo I don't think I have used before, to my knowledge. I have a very photographic memory when it comes to the Copic marker I mean, photographic memory in general, but when it comes to the Copic marker letter number combos, I can usually remember if I've used a combo before, and I don't think I've used this one, and it turned out really well. And it actually, he looks like these popsicles. If you've had those like orange pineapple popsicles, the swirly stick ones, I have some in my freezer because they are delicious. So he ended up looking like one of my popsicles. And then I color in his nose and the dog's nose with the same pink that I am doing their cheeks with. And then I add the white dots. I thought he turned out pretty cute, so I'm cutting him out. And then I also cut out their talkie bubbles because I need to die cut these all separately. And then I color in the dog using some sea grays. I think the sea grays are probably my favorite. And I really, really like how he turned out here. So I use C7, C5, and C3 on his body, but on his beard, I use C5, C3, and then C2. And the C2 ends up blending it out a little bit because I want his beard to look lighter. So that's kind of a trick. I do 4 Copics in here, but I start his beard at a lighter shade and do 3 shade blending on his beard, if that makes sense. So on everything but his beard, I'm doing C7, C5, and then C3. And then on his beard, it's C5, C3, and C2, the lightest one on him, will be what I use on his beard. And then I end up blending up into his beard a little bit and actually using my C2 to lighten the original C5 to make it a little bit lighter. And then I just assume that his cheeks are in his beard somewhere near his mouth. So I think that turned out fine. And then here is where I decide to, I was going to tell you I was about to die cut these out, but then I decided to stamp the birds. Sorry, bye old birdie. You look diseased. And we're going to color the new birdie with the same color combo, a little differently shaded. And I end up putting a little bit of the darker color under his beak, like a shadow, just some in there. And then blending it all out with the lightest, which is B01. So he's got a hint of shading going on. And I decided not to put any darker dots on these guys. I like their cheeks and their white dots just enough. And then here I used E37. I just realized I colored outside of his stand. I didn't even see that before. And then E34, I believe. And then it looks like a little bit better of a wood blend. And then I use the same Y38 for his beak and his feet. No blending here, too small of an area. I could probably blend his beak if I really wanted to, but I'll just give him cheeks and little dots. And then I die cut these out. And so now we are ready to put the cards together. I am deciding what colors are going to go with which. I matched blue to blue, and then I couldn't decide where to put the dog and the cat, so I eventually chose those. So now I'm going to use Action Wobbles, which I just opened and I've never used before. Now I'm explaining to you here that the animal is going to go on the side where the Action Wobble spirals the skinniest or the smallest. He goes on that end, and then the end I set down to the card is going to stick to the card. They both have paper you can peel off that reveals stickiness. Now, I realize that these are, if you have ever used them or seen anyone use them, these are normally used with images that are larger than the base of the Action Wobbler, so that the image itself would cover up the wobbler. But I did not think about that. Since I've never used these, I didn't have that perspective in mind, but it is a white wobbler on white paper, so it kind of disappears a little bit. It's not totally obvious, but yes, I realize that the dog does not cover up the wobbler. But I'm excited to use these with larger images that will actually cover it up. and use these more on cards. And then I'm just using foam tape to lift up their sentiment. And I'm showing you him wobbling. And if you mail it, it kind of clicks into place. You press it down. It doesn't stay, but you can press it down and slide it into an envelope if you're going to put it through the mail. And so this one I have to trim down kind of a lot because the bird doesn't have a whole lot of space. But when you peel off the paper of the top part, it's see-through anyway. It's clear, so it just kind of blends into the nothingness. So I'm just peeling off the 2 pieces of paper like a gift bow would have, and then the little round one in the center. I guess for smaller images, the center circle is still there. So if you want to cut off the rest of it, you can, and then just use the circle in the center to stick to your image. Backside, I'm sure that would work fine. I'm sure that's why that's there and why it's separated. So then that one, you can really see the wobbler behind the bird. And then somehow after I cut up the cat, when I go to stick it to him, like he turns and it's off center or something. So I have to trim more of the plastic off after I've already stuck it to him. And then so I don't know what happens here. Maybe I can watch and see what I did. But I'm holding him and I stick him down, but then somehow it twisted on me. So I'm cutting off some extra plastic, and the wobbler is a little lopsided, but I want to straighten out the cat, so it's just gonna be lopsided. So when your image is not bigger than the wobbler, that can pose a problem, especially if it's crooked. So those are the 3 cards, and yeah, that's all. And I will see you guys for another video tomorrow. Thanks for watching. Bye.